Hello everybody, Hassan here, engineer, MBA, and investor. And in today's video, I want to talk about how early we are when it comes to genomics, gene editing, CRISPR-Cas9. Now, before we do that, guys, please like this video, smash that like button. It's quick, it's easy, it's free, really helps this channel. If you haven't subscribed yet, guys, please subscribe, guys. It really helps this channel. Our subscriber count is increasing. I love the support I'm getting here, the feedback I'm getting here. Thank you very much for all the support, guys. And if you hit that notification bell, you can get our videos to you faster. So guys, in today's video, I want to talk about something a little bit different. I want to go through an exercise here, give you guys a little bit of color as to what our thinking is in this community, in this channel. We are very early when it comes to gene editing, CRISPR, or even in genomics in general, right? We are very, very early, and I'll explain that in just a minute. So let's take a look at CRISPR Therapeutics here, ticker symbol CRSP. Obviously, we've talked about this company, the leading company when it comes to Cas9 ex vivo approach, and we believe that with CTX001, they will have their first FDA-approved drug ever existed with CRISPR in US, and we'll be able to tackle beta thalassemia and sickle cell disease by 2022. Now, this is just speculation. We don't have actual inside data, and again, we don't provide financial advice, so please do your own research, guys. So what you see here, guys, is let's take a year to date, right? From its peak, right, earlier this year, this stock has been very hammered. You can clearly see from the red line here, almost 50% up, negative 50%, right? This is a huge drop, guys. In traditional market, that is considered a crash. Luckily for this stock, it's not just this stock that's been hammered. Every other stock, not just in genomics, but even in the technology space, right? Tesla, we've seen Tesla been hit very hard. Coinbase have been hit really hard. Airbnb have been hit really hard, and there's a couple of other companies as well. Even the top companies like Apple, they're all down from their all-time highs earlier this year. So again, when you invest in these types of companies, you have to expect long-term high risk, high volatility, guys, right? These are, you could be down like 4 or 5% in one day and then be up 8-9%. But in the long term, we believe if you've done your research, if you kept your conviction, you will be one of these winners here. If you pull up the 5 years, guys, if you look at the 5 years graph, look at just this stock, guys. 818% return just 5 years, guys. In a lucky, if you're lucky in an index fund, if you ticker symbol VOO or any of the S&P 500 index funds, you would maybe get 12 to 18% in a very, very great year. So it just, this is a huge return for 5 years, guys. I just wanted to mention that really quickly. But you can see here some of these market caps of these company, right? So you see CRISPR Therapeutics being under 10 billion, right? And let's take a look at Antilia, another company. We saw how they shifted to with prime editing as well recently for one of their programs. They're worth about $5.81 billion, and they've been hit less hard than some of these other companies in the gene editing, but nonetheless, they have been hit. We believe that they could go a lot further if the markets recover. Beam Therapeutics, obviously, Beam Therapeutics is one of these known companies that obviously with the leadership from individuals like David R. Liu, we believe that they are going to go forward with their base editing technology. Again, it is in the Cas9 field, but it's very specific. Instead of cutting your DNA, what if you replace your base? And we talked about this in a previous video. I made a great video. If you're curious, go take a look in our catalog of videos. But really what I want to talk about is, look at this, guys. This company is worth $5.55 billion, right? This is, again, when we talk about market cap, I just want to make sure we all understand what it is. It's outstanding shares multiplied with the current stock price, right? So just keep that in mind. And then there's maybe another company we want to take a look at, a fourth company. This is Editas. They were used to be leading the gene editing space, but obviously due to poor leadership in the past and bad execution, they've sort of been left behind, but they're still worth about $2.54 billion US. Now, I sort of cut the chase here. I already calculated. What I want to do in this exercise, in this video, is I want to combine these four companies, right? Revolutionary companies that will potentially cure human diseases around the world, not just in US, not just beta thalassemia and sickle cell disease. We're talking about type 1 diabetes. We're talking about CAR T programs. We took a look at all these diseases that it could potentially cure from Dr. Urinov's paper that we reviewed a few weeks ago. I highly advise you guys to watch that video. But really, guys, these four companies, they are worth officially today, as of today, $23.5 billion dollars, right? So let's just say round this up and say $25 billion dollars, right? Now, the reason why we believe we're so early is because we strongly believe this should not be the case in 2021, right? We believe that these companies are on the verge of tackling cancers, diseases for the upcoming decade. The war on cancers will start, right? It will start the moment the FDA approves CTX001. We saw what happened with the pandemic, what companies like Moderna, Pfizer, and so on, they've sort of went accelerated their R&D expenses, R&D process to accelerate the delivery of these vaccines that we now have around the world today. So just think about what happened with the pandemic and this post-pandemic world. The world has changed forever. Investors are going to look at this space very carefully. In the past, it used to be just an afterthought, but now because of what we saw, we strongly believe that genomics in general will be extremely valued by many investors that were maybe not really involved in this space. Myself, I wasn't really involved in this space until the pandemic hit, and I started thinking about what can we do in gene editing, what can we do in genomics to really tackle these diseases. Forget about just the pandemic, right? Just think about all these human diseases we have in developed nations, in different communities that are affecting millions of people, families, right? This is a serious problem, guys. Like we talked about in this channel, if we have the cool gadgets, like we saw the Tesla latest played update, and now obviously their car is beautiful. It's a well-run car. I'm gonna make a video hopefully tomorrow on the Tesla company on what they released recently. But the idea is that you could make beautiful cars, beautiful products that can hopefully change the world, hopefully eliminate pollution and so on. But what about human diseases? What about animal diseases? What about vegetation, livestock, world hunger, right? CRISPR can definitely tackle all of the above, right? All it needs is for talent to come together, companies, organizations to come together, have the right funding, the right investments, tackle it with the proper leadership, and allow regulations not to slow down but to actually accelerate and promote this space, right? We want to see many other companies jumping in. We want to see more partnerships, right? This is what I talked about also in the previous video. What if Vertex doesn't just build a partnership with CRISPR Therapeutics, but with Editas, maybe with Beam Therapeutics, maybe even with Antilia? Not just Vertex, right? These big pharma companies that generate billions of dollars, right, through traditional medicine, right, that people are really hooked on. Some people are ordering these types of medicine like on a forget about monthly, weekly basis, right? And again, nothing wrong with those. Those are prescribed drugs, prescribed from several professionals, and it's quite needed obviously in the space. But when it comes to human diseases, we have no alternative that is really cost friendly. It's extremely costly, it's not scalable, and CRISPR Cas9 will allow us to do that. So that's definitely something I wanted to show. Now again, going back to the market cap, guys, let's just go back here, 23.48 billion. Now what I'm showing here is the hyper charts, and here on the left is the company name, right? And on the right, all the way to the last column here, it's the market cap, right? So again, total four companies, revolutionary companies with great talent that we believe will disrupt the genomics slash gene editing space for the upcoming decade. They're worth right now $25 billion. Look at these companies, guys. Coinbase, $58 billion. Ford, the company Ford that pollutes the world, almost $60 billion, right? Look at Roblox, a video game for kids, 51 billion, right? Twitter, 48 billion, right? DoorDash, right? DoorDash, a company that really all they do is connect the merchant, the restaurant, to the citizen, right? To if you want your pizza to be delivered, that's all they do, guys. That's all they do, and it's just an app. Nothing crazy about this. There's many competition, many like Uber Eats, Grubhub, and so on. They're all worth. This company is worth $49 billion. That's more than double of these four companies that we talked about: Beam Therapeutics, Editas, CRISPR Therapeutics, Antilia. And then there's other companies like Lululemon. I mean, I love those yoga pants, but come on, guys, like more than almost double. combined. Like, what is going on here? Like Roku, Spotify. I mean, these are great companies. Don't get me wrong. They all have commercial products. They have consistent revenue coming in. They have established board of directors, established leadership, established customers based like loyalty programs and so on. But guys, think about the potential in gene editing genomics, right? How early we are. And then we just talked about these Cas9 slash CRISPR companies, right? What about like BNGO, right? All about that extraction of data through their Sapphire systems, right? What about those companies, right? What about Invitae, right? What about even Teladoc? I know a lot of you are not big fans of Teladoc because they're not really a genomics company, but they're still the top holder of the RG fund. But what about Teladoc, right? All these companies, guys, could be worth a lot more, right? It's just crazy, guys. Like as much as I understand, again, I'm even myself. I made a video on how value investing has changed over the years out today, just because, like for example, lumber may have more use than Dogecoin doesn't mean lumber would be more expensive than Dogecoin, right? Dogecoin could be more. That's like what you see, almost worth almost double than what these four companies in the gene editing space that we just talked about. So again, this is food for thought, guys. That's what I want to talk about in today's video. I want to talk to you guys how early we are. We strongly believe in 2022 we'll see a lot of progress. The Dr. Sam, CEO of CRISPR Therapeutics, has already spoken about how the company is planning to go commercial by 2022. They hired Philippe Tourouet, commercial chief commercial officer. Recently, you don't hire one just to sit there and do nothing. It's because you have plans, you've been in discussions with the FDA, you feel like data is positive for CTX001. And again, CTX001, once it is FDA approved, that will unlock so many opportunities for all these companies, right? It's always hard the first time. So this is why we are bullish about this space, guys. This is what I want to talk about. We are very early in this space. I'm really excited to hear about what you guys think. What is the potential? How early we are, right? Are we looking at these four companies to be instead 24 billion? What if they're $2 trillion worth, right? What if they're $1 trillion worth just combined? And forget about combined, just think about CRISPR Therapeutics. What if all these programs they have in their pipeline, type 1 diabetes, CAR T programs, obviously the beta thalassemia, sickle cell disease, they go commercial, they build other partnerships, that B2B type of environment. What can they do, right? What more can they do? Like, think about the potential, guys. So that's how early we are. I'm looking forward for your feedback. Thank you very much for watching. We'll see each other in the next video. Thank you very much. Have a great day. Thank you.